Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting of November 7th of the Zion City Council. I'd like to call it to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Here.
Commissioner Fisher?
Here.
Commissioner Holmes?
Here.
Commissioner Frierson?
Here.
Mayor McKinney?
Here. Item number 3, Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Brumner, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have Pastor Gary Garland of Love, Inc., who is going to give us some words of prayer and encouragement this evening. Gary, how are you?
Good, how are you, man?
Good to see you.
Let us pray. Father, as we enter the season of Thanksgiving, it only makes sense to thank you, the creator of all, who gives us each of our blessings. Thank you that we live in a country and a community where we can petition our government and not only expect to be heard, but that we can also expect to be responded to. Thank you for each of the members of this council who freely share their gifts that they receive from you for the very purpose of serving this community. A job that we know can bring joy, but can also bring both headaches and heartaches. Thank you for the first responders of Zion and all the government employees who also share their gifts, their God-given gifts, for the good of your people. Thank you for all the people who come here this evening. Let their trust in their elected officials be fulfilled. Proverbs 15:22 reads, "Without counsel, plans fail, but with many advisors, they succeed." Tonight and in all the days ahead, let the plans of this body be awash, not only with the wise counsel of each other and the residents of Zion, but with the wisest counsel of all, from you, our Heavenly Father. We ask all of these things in your Son's name. Amen.
Thank you. And in the words of one of my mentors growing up and a good friend of mine that recently passed away, may there be peace on earth. He was in the military, and that was one of the things he'd always would end every prayer with and every meeting with. May there be peace on earth. Item number 5, we have a special presentation with the 4. Oh. May there be peace on earth and order on the agenda. Item 4, are there any agenda changes by any of the commissioners? If not, is there a motion to accept the agenda as presented? So moved. Motion by McDowell.
Second.
Second by Frierson. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Frierson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Numero 5. Number 5, a special presentation by the Zion Queens in Miss Lake County. The Zion Queens are Kaylin White, teen Isabella Massimo, junior is Chanel Tercios, and little miss is Haley Lopez. Welcome this evening, and the mic is yours.
And Miss Lake County. Miss Lake County.
And Miss Lake County, yes. Miss Lake County is Sydney Peterson. Thank you, Mike.
Hi, I'm Jean Bonning, and Michelle Peterson is our, we're the co-directors for the Zion pageant. We just wanted to introduce our girls. They were recently crowned in October, in September, and they will be competing in the Lake County Community Pageant, where Sydney is crowning one of the new girls in Lake County. And so we just wanted to introduce them and have them tell you about their platform and how, what they plan to do with their year. So, Haley, you want it?
Hello, I'm Haley Lopez, William Zion.
Thank you.
Hello, Haley.
Hi, I'm Julia Fraser,
Hello.
Hi, I'm Isabella Massimo, and I would like to tell you a bit about my platform. My platform, Reader for Leaders, is about early literacy and to learn about what you were to interview, how to drive a tie, how to, exit classes and everything like that. So make them feel like they belong because people that are in foster care, they don't have a stable relationships with older people, so they don't understand like hygiene, or they don't understand manners when they're at the table. I think that's very important.
All right.
Hello, I'm Sydney Peterson, Miss Lake County of Zion 2023. I just wanted to come and say thank you to Zion for supporting me all throughout, starting as Miss Zion 2022 and then become Miss Lake County of Zion. You guys have been very supportive of my platform, the Ronald McDonald House and Project Podcast. Wanted to give a final count of what we did collect. The goal was 300 pounds with all of the county. We ended up donating 230 pounds. So thank you to everybody that collected. So this, I'll just give a little background. It was a very personal platform to me. My parents stayed at the Ronald McDonald House for 6 weeks when my brother was in the hospital. They were able to supply them with food, housing, bathroom, hygiene, while my brother was being treated in the hospital. And rather than going back home an hour away, back the next day to the hospital and just going back and forth too much. I ended up being a patient myself at Children's, and so every year we go donate pop tabs, go tour the house, and so we've been doing that for 13 years, and so we just want to do a final big all around from Lake County. So we did the 230, and we'll only be continuing to collect, so please continue to collect. Reach out to me, we'll always drop it off, so thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to the Zion Queens and Miss Lake County from Zion. Thank you for your contributions to our community. It's terrific to see that you're starting off with your philanthropic efforts at an early age. And I can say that during my childhood, I had so many people that got me involved in the community, including my mother. And later in life, you start to understand how it starts to shape how you can improve your community, but how important it is of getting involved in your community. And maybe one of these days, one of you will be sitting in this seat or one of the seats up here and making a contribution to our community. So thank you very much, and good luck with all of your philanthropic efforts. One of my best friends went to Allendale, and now he is a PhD, has his PhD in education. So. All right.
Mayor, do you think we can get all the commissioners and the queens on a big workshop?
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I know, so. Yeah. If you see this guy.
Here we go. Big fire right there. One more right there. Want to do a silly shot? What do you think? Can we do a silly shot? Maybe everybody point at everybody? Come on, guys, come on. We do it like we did back in high school. Remember them days?
It wasn't me.
It's just fun.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you. Can't leave you out. Right there, one. You do one more right there. Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, you want to escape now? Good time.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to stay, but we understand.
All right. We're ready for item number 5, citizens' comments. Citizen comments.
Item 6.
Item 6. Wow.
There
There we go. All right. I'm really off with my counting tonight. That's that Northwestern education. Last math I took there are old points on it, so. Anyway, Mary Lou Hildebrandt, great to have you back, and glad that you had a successful surgery.
Thank you. I have my second one done tomorrow morning. Maybe not have to wear glasses. Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, during the month of October, your ESNA volunteers gave 192 and a half hours for a value to the city of $5,840. We provided barricades for a block party and did extra eyes for trick-or-treat to help ensure the safety of the children of our city. We performed the monthly siren test and participated in the open house at the fire department. We also assisted at a fire at Illinois Beach. We assisted the park district with traffic for trail of treats and did the monthly food pantry at the New Tech parking lot. We held our monthly meeting and did training and maintenance at the ESDA Center. Members attended a funeral for a former member and participated with Escort for Honor Flight. If you wish to be a positive influence for our city, go to www.cityofzion.com and from the drop-down menu select Apply. We are happy to welcome new members to the team. Thank you for your continued support.
And thank you, Mary Lou and the Esther crew. All right, we have Stephen and Patricia Green.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Mayor and the Commissioner and everyone else that is here. My name is Evangelist Stephen Green, and this is my wife, Evangelist Patricia Green.
Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here, and it's much
So over the past 2 to 3 weeks, the Lord called us here to Zion, Illinois. Again, we are evangelists, so we travel around. While we were in South Carolina, we heard the Lord spoke to us to come here. And we've been here 3 weeks ago, so we toured the Shiloh House of home of John Alexander Dowie, whom in which we are familiar with. And again, in that moment, the Lord spoke to us to come back and do some evangelism efforts. Hence, we are here. And over the past 2 weeks, that is what we've been doing. We participated in the Halloween festival, where we were able to hand out over 200 salvation gospel tracts to the parents and guardians and everyone that came through. Saw a lot of fruit and from that seed planted. And then throughout the week, we also had the opportunity to do door-to-door evangelism in a lot of the apartment complexes here. And in that, we were able to, again, hand out salvation gospel tracts, and also were able to hand out over 20 Bibles as well, and we're able to pray for people as well. And so again, we're here in town. We do have to make a trip back out of town, but we will be back. We do believe that the Lord has called us here to preach the gospel, because that is the heartbeat of evangelism, which is the proclamation of the gospel. And so one of our goals or intentions would be to be able to partner with local churches in the area, or a church in the area, to help them grow in evangelism. As it says in Ephesians 4, that Christ himself has given some to the body, first apostles, then prophets. You also have evangelists, pastors, and teachers. And one of the reasons why the church needs evangelists is to be able to go out and help and grow up the body to fish, because evangelists are fishermen. And so there is an art to evangelism that most believers in the church as a whole is not aware of. Just like you have fishermen going out, they must know the time and the date of the fish. They also must know the type of line or the lead to use, and also the type of bait. So our goal when we come back would be to do that.
All right, thank you, and welcome to Zion, our friendly city.
Absolutely.
All right, and the holy city of Zion as well. All right.
Thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, there was one other comment. It's not on the...
I don't have my phone. Oh, please step forward. If you would introduce introduce yourself to our guests here at City Council. We know who you are because of our work with you at the Ahmadiyya Muslim community.
Good evening to all of you, respected council and the good people of Zion. My name is Tariq Kassim. I'm the imam here at the Izzy Mosque, the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community Zion chapter. I just wanted to share something with you all and bring it to your attention. And it's something it doesn't just affect Zion. I wanted to kind of zoom out. I think I've been going out the past couple of days, meeting with members of the community and just getting a pulse check. And I think whether if you're following the news closely or many people I've spoken to, they just stop watching the news at all just because they're just so much in pain and they just want to numb it out. But I think it goes beyond the scope of Zion. It's not just our country as the United States. It's actually as citizens of the world. We've really lost sight of that and really got called out in territory of mind. But what's happened eventually on October 7th in Israel and Palestine, the conflict, it's actually far more dangerous than people realize. And the reason why I bring that up is if you look at World War I, it started from a small, almost alienated incident that occurred in Europe, and it pulled the whole world into it. And with what's happening, if you're watching the news, you're seeing people literally bleed out into the streets in frustration. If you heard what happened in Plainsfield, where a Muslim child, 6-year-old Palestinian, his landlord stabbed him 26 times. And that's because he was watching the news and he hated what he saw. The same landlord used to play with that kid. The reason why I bring it up is I think the media has done a huge, unfortunately, disservice in the way that they painted what's happening in the world, and I'll get into that. But I think it's important. The world is hurting. Many people here are hurting, and that was only 2 hours away. And people have been asking me and other people of our community, what do you Muslims think? And I today just wanted to share, that's exactly why I came. I wanted to tell you what we think. And many of you were really supportive before, then, even now, of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community. Many of you were there when His Holiness came and blessed the city with His presence, which you can see the city of Zion. By the way, fun fact, I just want to share a side comment. His Holiness holds thousands of meetings over the course of a month with people all across the world. One of my friends, he actually had a meeting recently with His Holiness, and he sent me a picture. In the corner of his office, he has the key to the city of Zion, still in his personal office in the UK. So something that happened in Zion is still close to his heart. I wanted to share that. But I also wanted to share what he said about what's happening in the world. And he's been actually, for the past, not months, years, addressing global leaders, powers of influence, seats that really need to come to the table with justice, because what's happening, it's not okay. People are hurting. And if the catastrophe imbalances really takes place, people are going to bleed. In a world war, there's really no such thing as a victor. There's PTSD, there's generational trauma that comes with it. And warning about this, His Holiness said that the rate at which the war is escalating, how the Israeli government and other major global powers are adopting certain policies, it's apparent that a world war is staring us in the face. If wise policies are not immediately adopted, the world will face devastation, the likes thereof they have never seen. And where do we stand? Are we standing with Palestinians? Or are we standing with Israelis? What's happening? To this, actively, His Holiness stated, as long as world leaders do not courageously strive for a ceasefire, they are invariably responsible for taking the world towards destruction. At the point we see it doesn't matter what's happening in the long scale. If it's not stopped now, it's going to be very painful for all of us. We believe that true journalism demands that all perspectives be presented, allow the world to be a judge, and pull the facts for themselves, which is not the case what's happening if you're watching. Sharing all of this, not for your ears, for these 2-3 minutes to bog down, but genuinely for your support. We're planning to hold a Voices of Peace event this Saturday at the mosque. We're inviting everyone, because it's like the events that happened in Plainsfield, the stabbing in Texas of a Muslim woman just because of what's happening on the street. People don't know how to take the information and filter it. So we wanted to create a room where we can all sit together. We will host you, we will honor you, we will feed you. come join us, and we wanted to talk about what's happening there. We believe that the drums of a world war are beating, and we have to be very careful of any military-industrial complex and warmongers who are taking this tragedy and they're advocating for more war. The only way we get out of this is through diplomacy and conversation, but not cheap talk, value talk. And we'd like to take part in that. We'd like to hold that in Zion. We would like for you all to be a part of that. For everyone on the esteemed panel of City Council, for all of our civil servants and everyone serving on the sides and the beautiful people of Zion, we welcome you, we invite you, and we ask for your support in that prayer event that we will go. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Iman. Again, as my friend Jay Burgess would say, may you continue to rest in peace. May we have peace on our scary times we live in. And the only way we get through this as a community is together. Item number 7, consent agenda.
Approval of minutes of the regular meeting held on October 17, 2023 at 7 p.m. Approval but not release of closed session minutes of a meeting held on October 17, 2023 at 8:09 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion by Holmes,
Second?
second by McDowell. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Bills, vouchers 144417 through 144626, drawn on Huntington National Bank, total $2,248,962.18.
Is there a motion to pass the bills?
I'll move to approve the bills.
Motion by Fisher,
Second?
second by McDowell. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 8, consider passing ordinance as follows. A, increasing the monthly salary for the treasurer of the city of Zion per Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. 12 years ago, when I came on as the finance director, the treasurer role was, for all intents and purposes, a kind of a courtesy that was required by state statute. They would come in and sign the checks. They were required to sign the checks, but there wasn't really any sort of official role or duties for that position. But with my background being audit brain for 14 years in auditing, I saw that as a problem. I saw it as an opportunity for us to beef up our internal controls, to have another set of eyes over every invoice, every check, review things that happen. We're all human, we make mistakes. When we're accountable for public funds, to make sure that we're spending those properly and we have all checks and balances in place. During that same time, statutorily, the role and liability of treasurer also increased to where they certify our treasurer's report, our TIF audits, and financial statements on an annual basis. And this obviously came with a 15-minute, once or twice a month, to probably a 10 to 15-hour review process every month. However, during that time, we did not address the stipend that goes with that increase in time and commitment. The stipend hasn't been changed, I think, in probably 20 years or more. It's currently $240 a month, based on the increase in time commitment with the job and the roles and liability to the individual, and just the market. I'm recommending that we increase that from the $242 a month to $1,000 a month for an annual stipend of $12,000.
Is there a motion to increase the stipend?
I'll make the motion to increase the monthly salary for the treasurer of the city of Zion.
Second.
Motion by Fisher, second by Holmes. Questions or comments?
Yeah, I have a couple comments on this one. So I would like to extend the appreciation to Mr. Bradley for serving in that role over the last 4.5 years. I've had some objections, I believe I've expressed, about the quadrupling of the salary. I'd like to make a friendly motion to move it to $500 instead of the $1,000 per month. Part of my reasoning behind that is my understanding, and correct me if I'm incorrect on any of this, but currently we still do 1 or 2 check runs a month. As mentioned in the information received in our packet, there are very few oversights because of the internal controls that you mentioned. And then also, in addition, looking at surrounding communities. So there was one in particular that stood out. I believe they pay the treasurer about $15,000. But with that, they receive not only annual reports, but also monthly. They also operate under a transparent investment policy, and those things are made available online for the public. So looking back over our records, this is something that we do not have, and it's hard for me to justify such a huge increase without increasing some of those levels of transparency that we've been trying to reach. So as the city has moved back into the black and we look to get, additional funding, I would like to move in that direction to make sure that we're transparent in our reporting, not only for council, but also for the public at large.
All right, so we had a motion and a second for the increase of the monthly salary for the city commissioner, and Commissioner Frierson saying he'd like to make a motion to amend. Is there a second? Going once? Going twice? Motion dies for lack of support. Any other comments from any of our commissioners? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Nay.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 4-1. Item number 8B is regarding the disposition of surplus property in the city of Zion for Administrator Nabel.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. The property that we have out at the ball field, we occasionally throughout the course of the year have calls saying, hey, what are you doing with the lights? What are you doing with the stage? What are you doing with the bleachers? Things of that nature. And we always basically say, we have to, anything that we have for us to discuss, we have to declare a surplus, go through the process before they can bid on it, or we can dispose of it if it's rotted, if it's in bad shape. So what I am requesting tonight is we basically have a rough inventory of the items that are out there in varying degrees of condition that I would like to take the first step of declaring those items as surplus. I'm not asking for any disposal of those yet or any approval on any sale of those items yet. We're just declaring them surplus so that we can determine next steps for each of those items, whether there's a market for them, whether we can start approaching people. This was triggered by an individual who, I can't remember exactly the background, but it's a local small stadium that they were just like, hey, you have a dozen of bleacher seats out there that we can come look at. We've got like 120 out there, but some are in pretty rough shape, some are good. We might just have them come out and take a look and go, do you even have any that you want? But before we have to make the trip up here to look at that, we wanted to just make sure procedurally we're covered to start pursuing either disposal or sale of these items. So what we have on there is, the big one is the light towers, but we have some stages basically looking at the steel frames and all the components. The wood itself is rotted and not in shape, but there might be some value to the steel. The scoreboard that's out there, there's an announcer box trailer that may have some reuse, and then, like I said, the stadium seating, the folded bleacher seats. So I'm recommending approval of declaring those items as surplus.
Is there a motion? So moved. Motion by McDowell,
Second.
second by Holmes. Questions or comments?
Don't you need to put a value on it and some of these so that if you do have somebody interested, they could purchase them?
If we were going to go out to bid for sale of that, we would do that at that point.
Okay.
Also, with the lights, I know that we've had interest in people purchasing the lights or us even donating the lights, and the problem has been every time there's an interest, the cost to move the lights has been exorbitant, and the organizations that want them haven't wanted to take on that expense. So we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 8C, regarding the disposition of surplus property in the Public Works Department per Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Fleet Maintenance Department has inspected a 2005 Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, and has deemed it is no longer operational because of security safety failure. With no parts to repair available, staff is recommending and requesting approval of the 2005 Jeep Cherokee to be declared surplus and scheduled for auction. This vehicle will be sold as is, and a minimum bid price will be determined by staff and the city.
Is there a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Holmes,
Second?
second by Commissioner McDowell. Questions or comments? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9, discussion, authorization, and approval. 9A, consider an MFT budget amendment and approval of proposal from Christopher Burke Engineering for design engineering and STP grant application submittal for the 23rd Street resurfacing project per Director Roberts.
Thank you again, Mayor. Lake County Council of Mayors STP program has announced a call for work for the fiscal year 2027. This program provides federal funding for 80% of the construction engineering and construction costs. The proposed project is a resurfacing 23rd Street from Lewis Avenue to Sheridan Road. This estimated cost of this project to be $1,587,905. Potential federal funding is estimated at $1,270,324. The city's estimated shared cost is $317,581. A budget amendment would be required within the fiscal year 24 MFT fund for $74,425. Staff is requesting approval of the MFT budget amendment and the proposal for the design engineering and SPT application submittal to Christopher Burke Engineering of Roseland, Illinois, in the amount of $74,425.
Is there a motion?
I make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Fisher, second by Commissioner Holmes.
The other way
Excuse
around.
me. I'm in bizarro world tonight. Maybe it's the glasses. So we have a motion by Commissioner Holmes, a second by Commissioner Fisher, and another mistake by the mayor. Madam Clerk, please call the roll, or do we have any questions or comments? All right. Please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes? Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor McKinney?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Item number 9B, consider appointment of recording secretary to the Board of Fire and Police Commission per Mayor McKinney. I am asking us to consider the appointment of Sarah Masciarello, who is the administrative assistant to the police chief and communications coordinator, who was recently hired. Did I get that name proper? Pretty close. All right, correct me. Masciarello. Okay. Chief, you gave me the wrong pronunciation.
Let me get that knife out of your bag.
No, I was right to him. Marshmallow. Think marshmallow. You did say that. I did say that. Yeah. You spoke into my bad ear that was wounded. Welcome aboard. We had a chance to talk for the first time the other day. So do we have a motion to consider the appointment
I'll make the motion.
of Sarah Masciarello?
I'll second.
Motion by McDowell, second by Fisher. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner McDowell?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Commissioner Holmes?
Aye.
Commissioner Fryerson?
Aye.
Mayor King?
Aye, motion carries 5-7. Congratulations, and again, welcome to our fine city. Item number 10, departmental commentary. Director Ianson.
Thank you, Your Honor. 2 months ago, we started to transition from our sheriff's service from the alley to the street, the frontage streets. Everything seems to be going well. I'll just remind the residents, this is marked with can with their address, and the members of the community after the day's service. Otherwise, everything seems to be going well.
Yeah, it was a kind of a difficult transition for some, but we seem to work out the kinks. And I think talking to you last week, you were saying of course, the city is looking better. I've had that comment from people that have come to town. And of course, the alleyways are looking better, and people are monitoring the trash that might be left over, as I watch the trucks that are left out as part of the pickup program. And it's not a perfect process, but with all the mechanics, the streets have been left in pretty darn good condition. Thank you, Director Ianson. Director Roberts.
Thank you, sir. Monday it started the last leaf vacuuming program. It's, from what I saw today, they're moving along pretty good. They do have 2 trucks out. I would like to ask residents, I have seen lots of contractors and residents pushing the leaves all the way out into the street. If you could break those back up onto the parkway, it would be much appreciated and save our sweepers from undue usage.
And how long does this program?
It'll run for 4 weeks. It goes to December 2nd. Hopefully I got that right. First? Okay.
Yes, I know that information is on our website, and we
It is posted.
Yeah, we can push that out on the different social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, X, formerly known as Twitter, to make sure that our residents get that.
There has been a lot of questions about the program. There was some confusion. People were thinking that the whole yard waste program is going away. The yard waste pickup will continue to be throughout this contract, with this contract, and that runs from April 1st to November 30th. That's where they pick up the yard waste in bundles, bags. You can put the leaves in bags or cans, and they'll pick that up.
And if
But
they're,
the vacuuming this will be the last year for that program.
and Director Roberts, if there are branches or twigs, can you tell us how they need to be
That is
bundled?
also posted. I'll mess it up if I try to go off. I think it's 18 inches.
18 inches around, 4 feet long, and bound with twine. Yes.
But that is posted on our website also. We've got how to bundle the
All right. Thank you, Director Roberts.
Thank you, Commissioner.
No problem. I get asked, I actually get asked that. People ask me that.
Chief Barton, good thing you're wearing your vest tonight, with that
It's
last
not
name
nice, but
pronunciation.
yeah. That's cool. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Just a couple comments. I wanted to welcome Sarah on board. Already, she's been very, very helpful as the assistant. She's learning a ton very quickly, and she will be a very, very good pickup for the city as far as employment. So, thank you. Welcome, Sarah. Nice to have you. Secondly, I just wanted to echo some of the imam's comments regarding peace. Just tonight, we sent an officer down to Evanston for riots that are happening. I don't know why those are happening, but just keep those folks in your thoughts and prayers. And please, if you see something, you please call, say something, we will respond. Vigilantism is never appreciated or condoned. Please call us and we will respond immediately. Again, just peace is all we're asking for.
All right. Chief Barton, thank you. Our Director of Finance, Chris Conway.
Good evening.
Just wanted to let you know, we're gonna roll into tax levy season here, so we're kind of mapping out our plan. The tax levy is passed by every taxing district, ends up on your real estate tax bill. So, next meeting, we'll have the resolution for truth in taxation, which shouldn't be a factor, because we'll be under 5% cap, the limit. Then we're gonna do a hearing on December 5th, and look for passage of the levy by the 19th, because it's due the last Tuesday in December.
All right. Thank you, Director Conway. Administrator Nabel?
Thank you, Mayor. For those who may have been hearing through the grapevine or wondering what the plans are locally with, if you haven't heard, CTCA was acquired by City of Hope out of California, and we have received their application for property tax exemption as a nonprofit entity. Now, they are our largest taxpayer within the community. They pay, the exemption that they're looking for is just shy of $5 million a year, which is a huge chunk of revenue for all of our taxing bodies. And we are looking to, while they have every right to go through their due process on the application, we are working hard both internally and with other taxing bodies to contest as to why this would be very damaging for our community and have great implications for all of our residents and businesses. The Lake County Board of Review is having a hearing on November 15th, which we will be attending in force with our case and our basically reasons as to why it should be denied. And then they're a recommending body. It goes down to the Illinois Department of Revenue to make the final determination, and we'll continue advocating on behalf of all of our residents to ensure that they pay their fair share for services and their obligation to the community for just being a good corporate neighbor. So if you hear things, please just be aware there's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of misinformation out there that gets shared around. People seem to always have an opinion on what's going on, but feel free to always reach out to us for the actual goings on in Zion.
The facts.
Absolutely.
Just an add, Dave, that's a public hearing, correct?
Correct.
That address is going to be 18 North County, and we're being told it's going to be hosted on the 10th floor.
All right. Thanks for that information, Chief Barber. Administrator Nabel? Commissioner McDowell, any comments?
Yeah, thank you. In the absence of Chief Street, he just mentioned that I think we're in the final processes, or maybe we've already hired 4 new firefighter paramedics. Is that right, David?
We're in the process. We should have a swearing
in the process. Based on the grant we received, a little over $2 million to hire 4 firefighter paramedics for a 3-year period, and we'll be having them on board pretty soon. So that's really good news. Mayor, both you and I know Jay Burgess, or knew Jay Burgess, and he did like to say peace on earth. But that's part of a larger quote that comes from the Bible that the angels said at the birth of Christ. Glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, goodwill to men. And when I think about the situation that the Imam mentioned in Palestine and in Israel, I'm not sure if you know, but Christ Community Church has a congregation in Bethlehem in the West Bank. And it's been in the Holy Land since 1929. We started a church in the city of Jerusalem in 1929. And they moved to Bethlehem in the 1940s after the first Arab-Israeli war. And it's made up of just about all Palestinian Christians. And they have about 100 acres of property just outside of Bethlehem in Judea. And they use that property as a place where Jews and Muslims and Christians come to talk about peace. And there's a big stone at the entrance of their property, and it says in multiple languages, "We refuse to be enemies." And that's a mantra of our church family and our pastors in Palestine. Many people think that all Palestinians are Muslims, and that's not the case. There are large numbers of Palestinians that are followers of Jesus Christ, and our church members are part of that. And so many people, average, ordinary citizens, both on the Palestinian side of this issue and on the Israeli side of this issue, average, ordinary citizens, they want peace in the land, and they're calling for peace in the land. They just don't have the same definition, and that's part of the issue. I appreciated what Stephen and Patricia Green had to say, and some of the reasons why they're here, because one of the proclamations that they're making is about the Prince of Peace. And it's my belief that true peace will come to the world when the Prince of Peace reigns in the world. So thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McDowell?
Nothing from me, sir.
All right. Commissioner Holmes?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
All right. Commissioner Fisher?
I have nothing for this meeting. Thank
Okay. My comments, since everybody said so much, really, we have Veterans Day coming up and want to acknowledge and appreciate all of our veterans that are here that have served. There'll be a lot of activities throughout the city and throughout the county to observe Veterans Day, and also November 10th. I'm sure we've already sent that proclamation in about the 248th birthday of the Marines. They were formed in November 10th, 1775, 248 years. So, Mr. Brimner and all that have served, Director Roberts, Commissioner Fisher, thank you for your service. And anyone else that is here, thank you for your service and what you've done to protect the freedoms that we so often take for granted on each and every day. And when you see what's happening throughout the world, even throughout the United States, we're fortunate to live in the community that we live in. Our first responders do a terrific job. Our residents who want peace, as the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, love for all, hatred for none. A great mantra and a great way to live. So thank you for all the first responders, and happy Veterans Day coming up here on November 10th, which is Friday. Item number 11 is announcements. On November 21st at 6:30 p.m. we'll have a Zion Township Board meeting, followed by a Zion City Council meeting at 7 p.m. And November 23rd and 24th, we will be closed. City office will be closed for the holiday. And moving into December 5th at 7 p.m., there will be a Zion City Council meeting at 7 p.m. right here in the friendly confines of City Hall. Item number 12, is there a motion to go into closed session?
It should be 6 p.m.
Should be on November 21st?
6 p.m.
It's at 6 p.m. Thank you. It's at 6:30 on my sheet. Thank you, Mr. Brimner. Again, on November 21st, let me repeat myself. November 21st for the Zion Township Board meeting is at 6 o'clock, not at 6:30. There was a typo, or my glasses. Followed by Zion City Council meeting at 7 o'clock. And again, moving on to item number 12, is there a motion to go into closed session? What's that? Yes. For the discussion of file pending, I was getting there, Jimmy.
Sorry, sir.
You're so impatient.
I'm sorry, sir.
For the discussion of file pending and or probable or imminent litigation, sale or purchase of real estate, collective bargaining, legal counsel, and personnel.
I'll make the motion to move to closed session.
Motion by Commissioner Fisher.
Second.
Second by Holmes and echoed by Frierson. There won't be any action after, voting action after our closed session, so those that have attended our city council meeting, thank you for coming, and hope we'll see you at the next city council meeting.